The Titanic was the largest ocean liner ever made at the time, and it was thought to be unsinkable, but that turned out to be far from the case. There were tons of factors into how and why it sank, but the unfortunate fact is, it did sink, and a great number of people lost their lives in the disaster. But all of those historical records and fancy metadata don't seem to quite make the tragedy feel as real as James Cameron's Titanic. Very few films are as universally engaging and captivating, but Titanic happens to be one of those few. If the love story was all there was to the film, this might make for a mediocre romance. But we all know the real story is the disaster of the ship. Titanic is a sweeping romantic tragedy film that centers on the sinking of the Titanic ship. James Cameron wrote and directed the movie, which also starred Leonardo DiCaprio and Kate Winslet. The film follows the story of Rose Bukater, a wealthy young woman engaged to a controlling aristocrat, and Jack Dawson, a free-spirited artist from a working-class background. They meet and eventually fall in love during the ship's maiden voyage, only for their story to collide with one of history's greatest maritime disasters. The film flashes between present-day exploration of Titanic's wreck and the vivid retelling of its final days, balancing love, class conflict, and historical spectacle. Cameron's obsession with detail led him to dive to the real Titanic wreck multiple times. He insisted on building a nearly full-scale replica of the ship, which ultimately became the most expensive and ambitious set in film history at the time. The shoot was very brutal, plagued by water-related illnesses and freezing temperatures that hospitalized several crew members. Cameron's perfectionism pushed everyone to the edge, but the result was jaw-dropping realism. Titanic might arguably be one of the greatest films ever made, a timeless story that still captivates the audience because it takes its time to make you believe. The movie lets you sit in it without rushing, building every moment brick by brick. It takes its time to make you believe in love and compassion as you ease into the calm before the storm. And just when it feels safe to completely believe in the fairy tale, everything shifts. Suddenly, all the wide smiles, warm emotions, and happy faces tragically turn to tears and a strong sense of despair and desperation. Every second becomes a fight and every decision feels final. But through it all, the love between Jack and Kate only grows stronger, but not in a dramatic or corny type of way, but in small, genuine, but desperate ways. What was once a dream voyage turned into a nightmare, and for Jack and Rose, a race against death. That's what Titanic does way better than most romantic movies. It builds something beautiful, then breaks it in front of you, and makes you feel every single step of it. This film almost sank under its $200 million budget, the most expensive movie ever made at the time. Studios were panicking. But when it hit theaters, Titanic absolutely destroyed the box office, earning over $2.2 billion in its original run. Even after subtracting marketing and distribution, it was a historic moneymaker, one of the most profitable films of all time. Despite early press predicting it would bomb, Titanic became the highest-grossing film of all time, until Cameron broke his own record with Avatar a few years later. Titanic also went on to win 11 Oscars, including Best Picture and Best Director. Its massive success was extremely unprecedented, and the breakthrough also extended to DVD sales and an iconic soundtrack. Titanic currently has a critic rating of 88%, with some criticizing the melodrama, and others professing their love for the film, bestowing it as a cinematic masterpiece.
Well, look, I mean, the making of the film was one huge adversity, and the hardest part of it was the sort of the press and the media having great sport with telling the world what idiots we were and how over budget it was, and how it could never make a dime and all of that. I mean, that was all hard for us to deal with when we were trying to make the film.
More than just financially successful, it solidified Cameron's dual identity as both a visionary filmmaker and a real-world explorer. And just as he dove into history's most famous wreck, Cameron was preparing for his next journey, one that would take him not to the past, but to the depths of Earth's alien oceans. If you enjoyed this clip, you can watch the full breakdown on our main channel, or keep the binge going with the next clip.